To win twice in a row, the first person ever to win it back to back is just absolutely incredible. I'm humbled and honored in ways more than I can describe with words. I'm very proud of the work that I've done, especially this last one that won this year. I thought this paper was a lot better than the one before. I think it was much more complete. It was much more defensible. And a lot of the things that I think were shortcomings in my paper in 2024, I addressed in this last one. And I think it made it a much better work of research. So primarily what this research paper dealt with was the effect of different elements in the wash system and how they influence the propensity of the wash to form gases and inclusions in our casting. The primary variable we played with in this study was the density or the balme of the wash itself. The major finding was that the carrier is not the driver of the formation of gases and inclusions that come from the mold wash. There's something else in the mold wash system that is driving this problem. Another thing we found was that more wash or more mill thickness, more buildup of actual wash itself causes the problem to become worse. You get more gases and more inclusions from the wash in that case. So I can tell you it's not the carrier, which means it's not the water or the alcohol, depending on the washer you're using. I cannot tell you what in the wash system it is yet. The research itself took better part of 40 hours of my time, and then probably about 25 hours of my co-author's time, Tori Wendlandt. He did all of the LOIAD testing in the lab. As for writing the paper, I would say I have at least 120 hours into writing the paper. Was unable to present the whole paper due to the scale of the paper itself. So what I actually had to do was, there were 3 significant sections of the paper. The first was the application parameters of the wash. That really doesn't tell us a whole lot about how much the wash is prone to form gases and inclusions. So what I did present was the loss on ignition after drying testing, and I also presented the test pours, so the results of the test castings that we poured. So there are 2 significant ways this can help us. Ideally, and the more interesting way, is that we reinvent the game on mold wash. We either find a way to make mold wash that doesn't cause gases or inclusions to form, or at least causes less of them to form, or we find a way to get rid of mold wash entirely. That would be the real end goal of this, and we're actually already starting to talk about this, some of my industry colleagues and I, about how do we go that direction? What does a future look like where mold wash is different or doesn't exist, right? And at that rate, what materials do we use so that it can happen? In the interim, what it does help us do is tailor our mold wash practices in the Lawton Standard Company such that we reduce the amount of gas and inclusions that form from the mold wash we're running today. The other thing it helps us do is have a baseline as to how to evaluate prospective mold washes we want to bring into our foundries. I don't have any interest in further saying that wash forms gas and inclusion quality details, because that is conclusively proven at this point. What I do have interest in is going a little bit further and figuring out, we said it's not the carrier that's causing the problem. Well, what is it, right? That's one thing. And the other thing I have an interest in is researching either alternative mold coatings that work better than the mold washes we buy currently, and or alternative molding methods that eliminate the need for mold wash. And then also, when we can figure out what in the wash system's causing the problem, can we find an alternative to that material that maybe doesn't cause gases and inclusions? Well, so one of the things we're exploring with the mold wash is, hey, how do we learn from the people who are making investment castings? Because they're doing it really successfully. They're using a mold wash-like coating on their molds, and that's what they're pouring into in the investment casting process. Now, difference is they can heat that crap up to 1800 degrees and not destroy their mold, right? So, okay, that's different. But still, the principles are relatively alike. And how do we leverage that to make better no-bake mold wash? Can we learn from them? For years, there has been discussion among industry experts regarding mold wash, and the general consensus is that any gases or inclusions that came from the wash system came from leftover carrier that either was not dried properly or stuck around as part of the wash mixture. It hung on to molecules, whatever, right? This paper proves extremely conclusively that even after all the carrier is gone, there's still gases and inclusions forming, which means for sure that myth is, well, a myth. There's other things in this wash system that are causing gases and inclusions to form that are not the carrier. We have pretty well and truly put that to bed.